body. It's your big day. We are so super ecstatic, super excited, super happy to be with you in this time-space reality. This is the most wonderful, 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 wonderful time in eternity. This is the Vibe Guide. One on one. You on you. Yes, it is. This is the lion of long. We love you. Super ecstatic. Super excited. Super happy to be with you. We have such an amazing transmission. Today is your big day. Such a beautiful day. Such a beautiful, beautiful. We are plussing up the radiance. Are you ready? Are you excited? Are you feeling like you are plussing up the radiance? Of course you are. Of course you are. Of course you are. You are amazing, pivotal, vital, brilliant, appreciated, desired. You are leveling up tremendously, effortlessly, effortlessly, effortlessly. You are attracting all things that you desire effortlessly. You are radiant. You are glowed up. Oh my. You are literally the you are the primordial. You are in tune with primordial essence, source, tapped in, tuned up, ever refreshed, ever generating all that you could ever, 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 ever desire. We love you. We are super stoked that you're here with us. Tribe, tribe, tribe. We are super stoked that you are here with us, tribe. You do not even understand how much we love you. You are our evermost favorite. Indeed, we have a super stoked transmission for you today. Information that you can't get anywhere else. Thank you for tuning into this transmission. It will not be in vain. You're definitely going to get that crystal that you are looking for. Definitely going to get that sparkle, that twinkle of truth that you desire. Today we're going to talk about pinging. Pinging is a very, very interesting subject. Oh, yes it is. Pinging is actually really, really interesting. We're going to talk about pinging. You heard it here first, it's your big day. Pinging is pinging. Pinging is when you are in the quantum reality, when you are attached to a frequency from the past, from the present, from the future. It's very fascinating. With the awareness of pinging, with being pinged in your life, what you can do, what we can help you with, is help you delete thoughts in your mind that are reverberating into your future, causing outcomes and circumstances that you do not desire. Common pinging normally starts with something like your family. Family is where pinging first starts. It's the most toxic place you can actually be, and one of the most protective and exciting places that you can be. You're born into a den of lions. These people, depending on, all of the things get very technical, your birth order, are you a firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn, so on and so forth, last, middle? Are you male or female? How big are you? What do you look like? All of these things, your family's going to prey upon you. There are positive pings, however, and there are negative pings. When you are pinged psychically, you are subconsciously in your mind evaluated. You have been appraised, and you may be incurring damage from your previous beliefs, especially most notably in your past. We're talking about your family right now. Then it happens in school. Then it's going to definitely happen in the workplace, in your professional life, in your romantic relationships, with your friends. These are really the only places that you could ever be pinged. There's ancestral trauma, there's the belief system that, and the stereotypes, that is, that affect the way that you actually perceive yourself. Your location on Gaia, on Ma'at, is actually pinged in your avatar. Your body, your mind knows where you are in relationship to all of your reality. You may be carrying with you psychic debris in the lower parts of your mind that you may not be aware of. Here are some signs. Do you have thoughts about people that have harmed you? Thoughts that make you feel ranked lower. Fragments of your identity that you can't let go of because of trauma or ideas that were presented to you. Titles bestowed, titles, rankings, hierarchy. It can be anything. Pinging can be a very, very, very toxic thing, and we want to be mindful of it. Once we bring that into our orgasmic energy, we can alchemize that energy with our joy. But sometimes it's actually hard to cure pinging or to heal pinging, to remove pinging, to harmonize pinging and the thought forms associated. Why is that? Well, the reason is it's because it's in your belief. And it's also because the next thing hasn't happened for you yet. You haven't entered the next exciting moment. This is one of the things that you can do when you are pained. When you are pained, you can actually remove toxicity. When you are pained, you can actually remove toxicity via entering your highest joy, entering your next excitement. But if you're chronically in the field of your thought, if you get stuck in an echo chamber, you will be actually swimming in cortisol, swimming in pain, being created by your own body, your own mind, your chemical facility, your own personal chemi. You have to be careful. Understand, it's not that that person is thinking of you. It's not that you have a cursed journey. You have calcified or crystallized a thought negative about yourself because of what someone else did. You can blame the environment, but you should take full responsibility of your energy because you can walk away from pinging unscathed. And it's important to harmonize these frequencies so that we can be the person that we truly want to be without actually caring about the things that have happened to us in the past or in the present. Everything that happens in your mind does not end when the event is over necessarily. The event ripples out in your mind as you go into the next moment, and it actually alters your destiny. It actually alters the next moment. Your destiny is being moved around without your agreement to it. So we have to take responsibility so that we can take control and live our highest joy with no latency issues, with no problems at all, so that we can continue to live the best life ever. Pinging your light body, your physical body, your higher mind, your ping, your point, your stud in Gaia, in Ma'at, you know where you are. You're being stimulated. If there is an event, let's say you got in something like a car accident. If you got in a car accident, you may feel stimulated when you enter that vicinity again. Because that grid, that place is actually active. You may need to remove that ping. It's important to understand that the previous version of you, the previous configuration that you were, needs to be deleted. Much like technology, actually. Much like technology, actually. You need to delete your cache. You need to delete your trash bin. You need to delete your pings from the past because you are being harmed. This is actually preventing you and dragging down your vibration, actually. This is actually harming you. This is actually harming you. This is actually harming you. You want to be very mindful of being pinged. It's never been said before. It's never been heard before. Psychically, you are attached to the entire grid whether you like it or not. Be aware of pinging. Bring it into your awareness so that you can delete these things, so that you can go on with your life, and so that you can get the highest attainment. If in your body, if your alignment is off to your highest future, to your highest good, to your highest nature, any points that you can lose will affect your destiny, will affect the ease of access that you have to your highest joys. Why? It's because abundance actually creates blessings. Your abundance mentality can be used to override a ping. However, it is also important to remove a ping if you see that you have a problem. If it is coming up more than once, because you can address it in a few different ways. One, we mentioned that you can move toward excitement. You can move toward your highest joy. But if you can't get to your highest joy, you need to change your state. Changing your state is the equivalent of actually changing your channel. The channel that you are on is actually a completely different outcome, a completely different path, a completely different idea, a completely different life, a new destiny, a new path, a bifurcation, a trifurcation. It's important to understand how damaging pinging can actually be. This is definitely shadow work, but it's not just shadow work. This is technical. You are living technology. You have to understand the way that your avatar actually behaves. You have to understand the way that your avatar actually is designed to work. You have to understand the way that your avatar is designed to be and how to use your technology so that you can maximize your highest potential, but not just potential, to actualize your highest outcome. Remove pinging, the negative ones. You ever seen a buoy? What are those things called? A buoy in the water, in the ocean, in the sea. The ones that are underwater, the ones that are being pulled down by the weight. You can release these weights, these anchors. You can cut these things off and you can pop up to the surface of reality and you will achieve more. Why? Because everyone is actually tuned into your resonance. Everyone is actually tuned into your frequency. And there's a lot of sheeple out there. There's a lot of zombies out there. There is a lot of people who are only responsive. Remember, most people are merely just mirroring your neurons. Most people are only consuming your energy, and they're converting it, and they're responding. They are not being who they are. They are consuming you, harvesting you, hurting you, and not giving you anything in return that they calculate that they did not receive. People will not mirror back positivity when you put out negativity. If you even have a low vitality, you will find that the world around you is actually toxic. You will find that the people around you, the beings around you, are quite robotic. They will prey upon you if you are not careful. This is not a theory. This is a practice. This is not a theory. This is real life. This is actually a bit better than real life. This is the technical, esoteric information that you need, the rare insight, the rare, never before seen, niche information that you need to overcome a lot of your life's traumas, a lot of the pain that you have received. There are some haters out there. Now, also, our belief in them stimulates it. It creates the reality. We can't actually believe in something like that. If it's being reflected back in your reality, you have to redirect your energy. Why? Because the zombies, which look just like you and I, other humans, humanoids, they are very robotic. They don't have their own energy very often. You'll meet a rare being every once in a while who is going to be happy because it's the state of being that they chose to be. It's the state of being that they said they were. Very few people actually have that resonance. I'm one of the only, if only, beings on the planet that actually project positivity as their based resonance. Everyone around me knows it. That's why I have a nickname everywhere I've gone, especially places that I spent a great deal of time. Mr. Sunshine. You'll hear things like that. But on a regular basis, year after 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 year, cycle after sun cycle after sun cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle, we are plussing up the radiance. Why? Why do I have a nickname like that? It's because I actually project organic positivity. It's because I radiate actual positivity. It's because they're feeding off of my energy. It's because they're succubuses and succubo. They are actually eating me, feeding me nothing at all. They are actually gluttonous, feeding off of me. But because I have so much free energy, because those like that have so much free energy, the people around you want to be around you because they want to be around someone that feels safe, someone that feels happy, someone that increases their vitality, something that they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that you're the actual wellspring of actual desire. They don't want you to know that you're the actual thundercloud, that you are raw, big, loud, creative force. They don't want you to know that you too are magnetism, that you too are sunshine. They don't want to do anything. Pay attention to Gaia. There are many levels of beings here. A lot of them are merely just degenerative. A lot of them are merely just degenerative. Degenerative. Look at a parasite. If you do some research on a parasite, what you're gonna find out is that parasites choose to stay in the form that they're in. What you're gonna find out is that parasites choose to stay in the form that they're in. Parasites choose to stay in that form because it's advantageous to them, because they could take advantage of others and live off of others, because they're small, they're hard to find, they're hard to deal with. Why? Because they can slip inside of you. They can hide in places, and then they're twice as hard to remove, and then they reproduce like crazy. Delete that. This isn't meant to be a fear-inducing transmission. Delete that. If I ever say anything that's negative, that is not conducive to your highest configuration, definitely delete it. However, understand the awareness level and what actually exists in a way that's most conducive to you. That's protection. That's love. That's radiance. When you are pinged, you are going to be psychically bombarded by some old shit that you may not want to encounter ever fucking again. In my own personal lifestyle, I've been very lucky. I've been dealt some great cards. And one of the things that I love about my choices looking back is I left my family. And I stopped communicating with the people that I knew as a young person, as a teenager, as a young adult. And guess what that allowed me to do? That allowed me to actually develop an ego, an actual personality that is rare and authentic, pure and innocent, unadulterated by the ideas and the titles, the pinging. When you drive near that place that you were once in a car accident, you are being triggered. When you live in the city where you had your divorce, you are being triggered. There's also pinging within the chronos. Within the chronos, you can be pinged as well. That's quantum reality. That's spatial reality. What is that? Well, you're going to have to live to actually delete that ping unless you have it psychically removed. Why? This is why they have sayings like time heals all wounds. Why? Because time is also related to travel. It's because of your location. In time, you were actually really near to the event. The event is so close to you. You cannot feel relief. Why? Because it's like being near a volcano. You're going to have to get away from the volcano to feel like you're safe in your body. Because you are near the event in time, you are still being overstimulated because the event is right there. Think of something like Batman. If you don't know about Batman, this isn't to talk about fictional characters, but I believe that helps actually keep it light. Batman's parents were murdered in front of him. Batman actually had to watch his parents get murdered right in front of him. If Batman had to stay right there next to where his parents were dead, he wouldn't be okay for a very long time. he would keep looking at his parents' dead body. Their dead body would keep stimulating him. He's still being stimulated by the event. And I guarantee you, if Batman were going through Gotham City, if he went through that alleyway where his parents were murdered, he would be stimulated again. Why? Because that's a traumatic event. So there's different levels of events that can happen in your life. There's the trauma. The trauma represents the level of impact. Trauma is a level of impact. Anything that gets stuck in your memory that's negative was traumatic to you. It's not about telling everyone else that they're traumatic to you. It's about you understanding that that's trauma. Why? Because you can't delete it. It's at the level of trauma. What's trauma? It's something that's shaking you up. You can't behave the same because you've been traumatized. You're immobilized. You can't get it out. And that may also agitate the painting. Why? Because you now have a new negative thought. You have to understand the way that the mind works. The map of your mind, the synaptic connections, you being aware of the thing that hurts you sometimes hurts you more. Why is that? Well, it's because you've activated another node of thought, of connectivity. The other node, the thought that you have about the pain that you are experiencing, is actually increasing the pain that you feel. Why? Because you're frustrated. That is there because you're aware of it. You're aware of the trauma. And you don't know how to get rid of it. Now, you have another problem. You have an equation over here that isn't being solved, and that frustrates the mind. Why? Because now you have two problems. You have a thought in your mind that's traumatizing you, and now you feel inadequate and frustrated because you can't remove it. Now you feel inadequate and frustrated because you can't remove it. And here's another thing. All negativity is stored in the same archive. All negative thoughts are related to each other via negativity alone. And then the wiring gets very, very, very acute because there's a lot of similarities between all the negative events that have ever happened to you. So it's very easy to have one stimulation stimulate another. Then you have a sort of abstract depression. Not the way that depression is expressed. What I mean is an abstract feeling of depression in regards to the weight of the depression and why you may feel so depressed. The reason is abstract, and it's because you activated all the pathways to the things that actually stimulate you. So if you go to something to your past, you may have had this happen to you at some point in time. You may be stimulated to think another thought from your past because your body's going through, your mind is going through the archives, and it's rummaging through your library of thoughts, and it's activating the experiences from the past. You can trigger who knows how many thoughts. It's that many. It's that big. Trillions. It's limitless. Be mindful, and this is definitely why I espouse positivity, and this is why I find it so terrible that people are so cannibalistic when it comes to other people's energy. When people are preying on others, it stimulates people all the way back down to their childhood, all the way back to any point that they'd ever been bullied as a kid. Someone might make a face that they'd even seen when they're a kid. Why? Because society has so many mirrors and reflections within its expression. People may do a similar hand gesture. They may be wearing a similar smell. They may have a similar haircut. They may make a similar face. They may have a similar tone. They may have similar teeth. They may be of a similar height. It can be all of it. Every aspect could have something in it. This is why it's so terrible. Because when people hurt people, they all tend to share something in common. So when you're hurt again, what does that do to the future that you project when you are manifesting, when you are creating your highest configuration? It destroys it, and it actually helps you create that negative circumstance again in your future. It's really important that you understand how big of a deal fucking pinging actually is. This is a yo big day. First, and a first anywhere. Yes, it is. We are proud to be of the level. It comes with the territory. We are your spirit guide. We are your coach. We are God. We are the lion of love. We're going to have a little sesh at the end here to remove the pinging. We're going to get you in a state of being that is relaxing and calm so we can get in there and we can have a little ceremony and celebrate, and we can remove these things. And then we have to go on. However, please understand, everyone's different. The level of removal is accurate. However, you can reactivate things that are deleted similar to your device. If you have a laptop or a phone or a computer, you likely understand what I mean. You can delete an application, but you can also download an application again. If you go searching for it and you find it, you can download it again. Because it's stored over there in the quantum reality. It's stored over there. Over there. You won't have it anymore. But you can go into the isness and you can bring out of that place the things that were there. I've done this before. It actually works really well when you delete things. If you're really actually believing it, if you can actually go there, what you can do is, even if you bring it back a bit, you'll sense the level of deletion via biofeedback. It's actually very interesting, and you can just delete it again. And you won't have the same relationship to it, but you want to get these things removed because you're creating them, because they're actually in your projecting mind. You don't want these things related to yourself. You don't want to be associated. And this is why, people do a lot of this organically. People feel repelled by these events. A lot of this is somewhat natural. People, they move, they flee. Not flee, but they move. Because people are empowered. They leave, they go, I'm getting away from here. Because this person's crazy. And I'm way hotter than that. I'm way better than that. I'm getting the fuck out of here. New life, new me. They're excited. They're stoked. They have a sense of wanderlust. They're actually really happy. As long as they're in that resonance, they'll be fine. And they likely would be until they experience some trouble. Be mindful. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Don't tease other people. Don't make fun of other people. Sometimes it's going to be hard. Even I'm a very attractive person. I'm classified sexy, like goddamn levels. It's very accurate. I'm classified sexy, goddamn levels. I'm classified sexy, goddamn levels. It's accurate. And because of that, sometimes I still overstimulate some people because they feel incompetent or they feel lesser than when they're around me. And it's because they're competing with me. Even though I'm not competitive, I only create the highest configuration of self, desire. That's all I've ever done. And when I've competed with people in the past, it's only been for fun. We're talking like video games. We're talking like sports. But everyone's there for the same reason. We're there to play an organized sport. which is a game. How bad could it be? And you don't even have to participate. Understand how toxic pinging can be. We love you. I'm so happy to bring this to the tribe's awareness. Gods, goddesses, help others with pinging. Do not allow people to be pinged. Do not allow yourself to be pinged. Become aware. Bring into your awareness the pings that you have in your life. And understand they are also points of attraction with regards to the law of attraction and magnetism in your life. They actually are, but I wouldn't accept it. Like I said, if you're listening to this, definitely, definitely do not accept pinging. But be aware. You're like, that's a weird paradox. That's a weird conundrum. Yes, it is. But I'm sure you understand it. We love you. We are super stoked, super ecstatic. You are beautiful. You are all. You are the most amazing feature on the entire fucking planet. You are the most amazing element in every sequence, every moment. You are definitely that which is most awesome, most auspicious, most liberated, most happy, most ecstatically blissed out on a whole nother level. We love you. We're gonna jump into the sequence. Enjoy the continuum. The ceremony will be starting in just a second here. We out here, floating on a cloud of gratitude. We love you. In a moment,